Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is Boss right here. Everything you need to know about candles. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the 10 things I wish I knew before starting a candle business, 2025 edition. Year after year, I learned more about what could go wrong as well as what could go right. So I thought, what better way to bring in the new year than to give you guys relevant insights into what could go right. So definitely tune for the video. If you like videos like this, please make sure you give this a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've experienced any of this helped you when you were in pretty much a gray area with your business, and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else. This is a candle making channel, entrepreneurial channel, faith-based channel. I got you, girl. Let me take off these hot gloves. Making candles all day. I can't be the only one who puts gloves on. I just put them on. I don't know. I don't like a lot of wax on hands. But yeah, girl, I took notes. I started in 2020 as a candle business owner. I think the number one thing to note is that I began in sales 5 years prior. So I've been in sales pretty much my whole life, 10 years. And I'm familiar with the process of marketing, the process of sales, the process of patience, all of these concepts that we're going to cover in this video. So I just want you to understand who you're talking to. This isn't no spring chicken, okay? So number one, it will have to look like it's not working for a substantial amount of time before it actually starts to work. So your dream is just that. It is a figment of your imagination until it has been made manifest. And I hate when the law of attraction people, law of assumption people try to take the word manifest. Give God that word back. Manifest is pretty much similar to faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So your dream is evidence of what has not come to be. And the way that you get it is not through necessarily really hard work. And it's not necessarily through some sort of worldly construct like networking or whatever, luck as you call it. The things that we actually desire come to us based upon a series of circumstances that makes it possible. That's something I had to learn in my business. We run into the scenario so often, you'd be surprised. Like there's so many scenarios where you're just literally fighting for your life and wanting things to work for so long that you start a narrative in your mind about why you don't deserve it working. It's crazy. Oh, I'm just not good enough. My content's not good enough. There's give up talks in your head. But that doesn't mean it's still not working. It's very similar to when you put a seed in the ground and you don't see it sprout at all. One day out of nowhere, boom, it just comes up. And it's just like everything that it was doing underneath the surface that you couldn't see finally was manifested. That to me is the epitome of manifestation, not witchcraft, which if you need help with that, link right here. But amongst that, the biggest thing I've learned is that our minds will trick us as we're trying to protect ourselves. As an entrepreneur, you're constantly looking at cost, budget. So it's important to also be mindful of the fact that even while it feels like nothing's happening, it is. There's so much happening as nothing is happening. Number two, people will not support you initially. The biggest thing that you have to wrap your mind around, they're looking at it as because it doesn't fit into their narrative that they have for their own life. Often, I do it myself. When you go on social media, if you're watching someone else film themselves, you're picking apart ways at which the things they're saying or doing relate to what you say and do. If you come out and say, I'm starting a candle business, and people who are just limit-bound, fervent believers in low self-esteem and like rules and restrictions, they're looking at you like, I can't believe you're doing that. I don't agree. So you have to let go of this. Our ego desires acceptance, so you have to let go of that early on. If you're an entrepreneur, let go of the desire for everyone to like you, because they're not going to support you until you help them and make them feel connected. Eliminate that expectation now. If you're creating a video and you're like, oh, I want this person to think this of it, then you're failing. But if you're creating a video and you're telling an actual story of what you experienced, that's where the right people will connect to you. And that's the same with your products. If you're creating a product and you're hoping this person likes it, that's an opportunity for them to pick it apart. But if you're creating it and you just want it to be of value to the right person, then the right person is going to gravitate towards it over time. Which leads me to my next point, number 3. Your idea has to solve a problem. Period, point blank. As entrepreneurs, we get so wrapped up into this thing that we think is really cool or is really pretty. But what does it solve? For me personally, I make candles with Bible verses on them. The number one problem we have in our worldwide is that the world doesn't want us to read the Bible. The more we read the Bible, the more we figure things out on our own. And lean not on our flesh and lean on the answers. He's just so good. So it's just something that resonates with others and can make people want to make that purchase early on, versus if I just made this candle, like, oh, I like the jar. You like that jar? Nobody care about that jar. They want to solve a problem. So if your product doesn't solve a problem, you're getting nowhere. I wish I would have known that, and they were cute, but that's all, and nobody bought them. So finally, over time, I gradually learned what my niche was. I knew I was into faith-based content, but I didn't understand the value in incorporating what you're passionate about and what you create. I'm very confident in God. I don't have anything that I'm confident besides Him. So once I got into, the biggest stigma around it is religion and relationship. So once I got into candle making, I was like, I'm going to denounce all of that. I'm going to get rid of all of the curses on our lives that are sent to just kill, steal, and destroy our new beginnings. I'm going to say, God won. Here's why. I'm trying to blow this out because it's making noise. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that I had to learn was that if you don't solve a problem, then nobody really cares. And also, yeah, if you don't solve a problem, what's going to happen when someone's looking at your product and trying to price check you? Oftentimes, the biggest things that I've spent a lot of money on are because of the problem they solved, and I just try to overlook the cost. Speaking of costs, number 4, you have to use the term invest instead of the term spend. We just rely so much on our school teachings of numbers, like budgeting. We don't get taught budgeting in school for sure, but in school, we just get taught that you're supposed to save money, or as in your personal life and your family, and understanding that when you make an exchange of money for services, it is hindering you in some regard. When it's the complete opposite when it comes to your entrepreneurial efforts. As an entrepreneur, it's not purchasing. If you go to the phone company, you buy a phone. Yeah, you just bought a phone, but you're about to use it. You're about to make calls on it. You need it to make calls and texts. So the same goes for your business. When you buy a luxury jar, you're about to use it. You're about to see a return on your investment. You just really have to use the term invest instead of spend, so that you can reframe your current decision-making process as well. I had to take a lot of internal reflection on that too, because we look at things like, oh, this costs this much, how will that affect me? And once you involve God, that is also a key element of any successful business, involving faith. Just stop looking to your business as a problem or as something that is stressful. Beyond even changing the word and spend to invest, you can change words like I have to make candles, I get to make candles, or I have to check my inventory, I get to check my inventory today, or I have to pack orders, I get to pack orders. Like, really have fun with the process of becoming instead of looking at it as a chore or as a burden. Number 5, people are not looking for you in your story. They're looking for themselves in your story. So it's my responsibility and your responsibility to articulate how what you've overcome can help them. It's just what it is. I know I said earlier you're not supposed to be making products thinking about what people think, but when it comes to your story on your website, or when it comes to how you create content, your content for your product has to resonate with really relatable topics. So you can't just say, hey, I went to the store and bought this one specific thing. It's more so catered towards the specific audience you're targeting. So just back to the last video of how to start your own candle business, I would definitely say go back to that video and watch what I said about how to start your business, because it's a game changer as it relates to understanding what you're supposed to put in your content. Number 6, your candle sales do not determine your profit. Let me explain. So let's say you want to make $100K a year, right? $100,000 a year is $358 a day. The reason why I know this is because I quit my job in 2021 and I was like, well, how do I lock in and get this done? So you don't want to be looking at your products or you're like, oh my gosh, I made $358 today. Perfect. I hit my goal. No. How much does that candle cost? For example, my candles here, these aura jars are like $4. The wax in there is like $4. The fragrance is $2. That's $10. The wick is $1. That's $11. Then the labels here are like $2 each. So that's about $13. So this candle, the warning label also is like $1. So 14. No, it's like $13.50. So this is $13.50. The tubes are $3, so it's $16.50. It cost me $16.50 to make this candle. So if I sell it for $35, then I actually made $20 off that candle, not $35. So you have to be fully aware of your costs so that you're not running into the scenario of thinking you're making more than you are. Also, so that you understand money and money management. And oftentimes we run into this like rabbit hole of just trying to do things that make us feel empowered, make us feel like, oh, I made it. Like I made 100 sales. Is how much profit? What was the profit? Okay. And from there, I know you're listening to this, gosh, how will I make ever a profit? How am I going to make a profit if the cost of goods has to be accounted for in my sales? And that leads me to number 7. Your business should not be fully funded by your full-time job. I know that's very unorthodox. And for the longest, I funded my business by my full-time job. When I was in tech sales in 2021, that was number 1. I was like, I am just funding this by my job. And it was burning my check. Every time I got a check, I'm going to go get candle stuff. You have to research, do your due diligence about business funding. If you're a startup and you don't have funding, then you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure if you're not lucky, if you didn't catch a break. A lot of people get blessed and catch a break and stuff. I've seen people on Upflip, they're like, oh, all I have is $100 and I made $100,000 or $1 million from my candle business. That's not gonna be you. It could be once, but like, why plan for that? Why not plan practically for what you want? Like, we want sold out days, so we have to have a good product. And if you don't have the money for it, then there are ways. The SBA is giving away money for startups, small businesses. They don't need any kind of information. The only thing is, don't play around with any kind of ethical things. Like, I heard, thank God I never got into this, but I've heard of what people have done with PP loans. I've heard of what people have done in any regard with lying about your employee count, lying about anything to the IRS. Never do that. That's not the goal. The goal will be for you to go in and apply for a business line of credit. So a line of credit establishes trust from the banks in your business. That's the goal. You want your business to be reputable, have the established LLC, a virtual address, virtual phone number, email, all of this information we can talk about in a one-on-one coaching if you're up for it. Sign up down below. But moreover, the biggest point that I'm trying to convey is you have to have all of your ducks in a row to be eligible for business funding. And business funding is a better route than going into debt when you find out that your first business strategy wasn't as fruitful as you would have liked. Because if I'm being completely honest, the first time I launched, I made no profit. I made sales, but no profit. Second launch, no sales, no profit. Third launch, witchcraft, lots of sales, lots of profit. Fourth launch, renewed, no witchcraft. It was all the good, clean stuff. So it was just boom, profit. And it's something that you have to be transparent about. Like those 4 or 5 rounds, there's so much money gone from all of that. And often if you have funding, business funding, then the money is not going to harm you. You're not like, how much does this cost? How much does this cost? Your business should be designed around quality. Yes, quality. Often we want to just do things that are budget friendly just to make it work, but why would you buy something from someone you've never heard of if it doesn't look extraordinary? That's your goal, extraordinary. Giving someone that experience, because with smaller businesses, we can't necessarily give someone the big value, but we can give you that experience. So definitely recommend focusing on quality over just getting it done, and stop taking shortcuts. A great example of a shortcut would be your business email. Don't just be at Gmail. Focus on having a paid domain. Also, another way to stop cutting corners would be investing in the proper photographer for your business. That's something I haven't done just yet, but I wish I would have. Y'all can watch vlogs here, but I wish I would have done more, because I've seen like very large influencers do that and it looks so much better, and it's just that small investment like of a couple $100 for someone to take your picture and your products and record you and all of that, and then boom, your business looks more reputable to your audience. Also, with packing orders, definitely something like to get custom boxes, custom tape. Customizations can change the game for your business. Okay, number 9, something else I wish I would have known early on. Your friends and family are not your customers. They are not your demographic. They are not your targeted audience. They are your number 1 haters, if I'm being completely transparent, because they don't do what you're doing. They can't understand it. All they know you to be is what you were. They are, if anything, familiar spirits to set to destroy your idea. Sorry if that was very harsh. It is what it is. Try to focus on an audience that is not your familiar intermediate family, because they're not coming for your good. I remember one time my aunt, she was like, "Can I buy some candles as a gag gift?" I'm like, first of all, you don't know how to purchase online, and you didn't even have to add any commentary. I'm glad you added commentary, because now I know to get away from you. Okay, last but certainly not least, influencer marketing and email marketing are way more powerful than paying for Facebook and Instagram ads. This is something I had to learn very soon, right in 2020 when I first launched my business. I got no sales, boom, I reached out to an influencer, she had 300K on Instagram, boom, she blew up my business. It was very fast, but honestly, the main thing I wish I would have known at that time is that influencers do not make your business. Okay, just because they promoted your product, you still have to have a very high quality website. You have to have a high quality Instagram page, high quality product, packaging, everything to keep those people, because after you get those sales, they're like, okay, show me what you got, and you gotta really have it. But also from there, you have to learn how to create content on your own, because your own content will help you with loyal customers as well. I'm just learning that the sustainable element of getting more sales is through telling your story online more consistently. If you need help with that, definitely sign up for coaching down below. But I hope this video was helpful in terms of an update of things that I wish I would have known before starting a business, because often, man, we just go in blind. We're just trying to figure it out. I feel like starting a business is like having a baby. No business is the same, but after you've had it, you can share some relevant tips about what to do in terms of success. So I hope this was helpful. Comment down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your next hour. Just living your purpose. Love life. Bye.